Hi, I'm Doug from Pivogo. I'm here with Victoria, who's halfway through the S2DS program now. Hi, Victoria. How's it going?
Hey, yes, it is going well, actually. This is an interesting point being midway through the program.
Amazing. And you had the kind of the mid-session presentations today.
Yes,
How did
exactly.
all of that go?
It went well, but it's mostly not the presentation that we were worried about, but it's about the project at large. But actually, this week we were all beginning to be a bit more hopeful about it, and now we see that we have results and some things have worked, and now I'm feeling much better than last week.
Yeah, I remember when we last spoke, things were really tough and you weren't quite sure, how things would be going through. So
Yeah,
it's awesome to hear that. And kind of, I
yeah.
guess the,
Hopefully, it's gonna get better.
yes, yeah, I see the ebbs and flows of any challenging project, I guess, right?
Yes, it's
Challenges
true.
along the way and whatnot. It'd be great to hear a little bit about kind of your role in your team and kind of the role that you're taking and how your team's structured a little bit.
Yeah, almost at the very beginning, it's a natural language processing project, and we're scraping a net. So almost at the very beginning, kind of naturally, we're divided into two teams of two. So there are four people, and two of my teammates are working in the scraping, and two of us are working on natural language processing. But of course we meet every day and we talk about these things, but even within that, everybody has got their little thing, so it is kind of nice that sometimes we meet and then we go away and we do our own thing.
Yeah.
And it is a really important lesson that you really need to trust other people, that they're also going to do their bit and it's going to be great and they will come back with the results, and you also have to do your bit. So
Yeah, I guess
it's
that's the thing
different, yeah.
from going on working on a PhD, which is more of a kind of solo endeavor, to having that faith
It is.
in the
It is.
team.
It's 4 years of terrible loneliness. At least from a work side of things, it's a really, really solitary experience, and it's completely different working for yourself than working in a team.
Yeah, everyone I speak to says that that same kind of loneliness has really been a really big part of their PhD, and also part of the reason they want to work in data science and
Absolutely,
something more collaborative. Really miss that.
absolutely. I feel the same way.
That's interesting. What's
Also for the switch in projects, that is something that I'm really looking forward to, because 5 weeks of doing this, it is really interesting. I wish we had a couple of weeks more, but it's nice to be working on something and then for a month or 2 months and then switch to another project, another question and another thing to do, whereas in your PhD for years you're doing, like, you're doing different studies, but it is the same question and similar methods, and this is a lot more diverse.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that variety is very nice. I really enjoy that as part of kind of what Pivogo does, that variety in the different types of projects.
Yeah.
You mentioned kind of having faith in the team and other people you're working with is a really important lesson that you've learned. Would you say
Yes.
that's the most important one, or have there been kind of other things you've learned from working as a team that you really value?
Yes. From the team side of things, it is important to always share what we're doing, but it is also important to go away and do it ourselves and then come back with the results. And that's where the trust comes in, because if everybody does everything, then you're simply duplicating tasks and it makes no sense. So yes, there's kind of trust, and also this is a really special circumstance that we haven't got a boss. That we haven't got a manager, and that is interesting, even from like an anthropological point of view. How
Yeah,
people
very
fall
interesting.
into. Yeah. I'm really amazed by that.
Yeah, yeah, that's really interesting. I guess there's a technical mentor which you can kind of lean on, and then there's a kind of the client
Mm.
guidance if there's industry specific kind of things that you need to find out. But yeah, it's really down to you guys and to
Yeah,
to do the doing and you know
which I quite
keep it
like, by
going.
the way. I think you are your own best boss, in a
Yes, yeah,
sense.
definitely. I think especially with people like yourselves who have had significant experience being your own boss and like self-motivating and doing things. I think especially then it's
Yes, but the setting milestones aspect of it, is actually something useful. So in the real world, I am looking forward to having, some kind of a sense check that we're doing good and we've achieved this and what's the next one, and to have that kind of structure is also a good thing.
Yes, most definitely. How's it been interacting with the client? How's that
Now
relationship?
that has been the most fascinating thing about S2DS and data science, because this is really science. Like we are doing tough programming and modeling, but it is for a purpose. So and it is quite brief. So you can afford to just go off on a tangent because you find an interesting problem, or you realize that or you want to remove. All the special characters, and then you find a way, and then you say, oh no, there must be a best way, a better way, but what's the best way? And then you realize in the evening that you spent all day like doing regex and unicodes and whatnot, and you can't afford to do that. So you have to be kind of really disciplined in the sense that this is the question, this is how I'm going to answer it, and not get sidetracked in a million other things that you could also be investigating. That is very different from academia.
Yeah, that's really interesting to hear. And I guess that's where there's a convergence with a couple of different things, isn't it? Because, with academia and with data science, when you're having a look at the data, you're finding new things all the time. You're like, oh, well, that's an interesting avenue, but you have to park it to get to kind of the business goal.
And yes, and I'm hoping that as time progresses and I progress in the career, that every now and again there might be things that are really interesting, that you stumble on something serendipitously, and then you would share it with the company. It would be a great finding, but you need to decide whether this is something worth pursuing or not.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And I guess that's in conjunction with things like, how much data you have to actually achieve the initial target project.
Yeah.
And then how the two marry up and what actually is going to have the best impact for the business.
Yeah, and to constantly check back with the company that this is what we've done so far, and is this something that you would like? Because we could make it more complex, and we could answer this as well. But is this even something that you're interested in? And that's really important to ask these questions, because ultimately, they need to know what it is that they're asking and how we can serve their purposes, because there's nothing worse than solving lots of questions that nobody has.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, relatively useless in a business
Yes.
context. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
You mentioned milestones and kind of having set things to kind of decide and be able to, as indicators, I guess, of like how you're doing in terms of the project. What sort of approach have you guys taken as a team for that type of thing?
I like milestones, and I like kind of organizing myself and having these goals, that how far I want to get in a day, in an hour, in a week. But my team is awfully relaxed. They're very relaxed, and they're a joy to be with. And I'm the warrior, so I'm fallen into this role where I keep saying, like, do you remember that it's already Wednesday, and Wednesday thing? So I do that. It's not a fun role to have, but somebody needs to do it, I guess.
That's interesting. So
Yes,
when you were
but
saying, you don't have a boss, maybe that means you're the project manager for the team and have
the
taken on
warrior,
that role.
yes.
Yeah.
But also it is very true that if you do get everything done, then there is no point in worrying. So
Yeah.
it is better to err on this side of things, maybe, than being constantly stressed.
Yes. Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more with that. 100%. Well, great. Thanks. I'll let you go because I'm sure you've got
Thank
lots of
you.
things to do. But it's great to hear the project is going really well. Kind of after perhaps a little bit of a dip last time we chatted. And yeah, really excited to hear how it's going next week. Hopefully we'll
Me
continue
too.
on the same trajectory. Brilliant.
Oh,
Thanks very much,
thank you.
Victoria. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.